So we're moving to the Southern Song dynasty. So with the fall of one of the emperors of the Song dynasty, his son will escape to the south of China and set up the Southern Song. This is actually somewhat common in Chinese history because southern China is a much more defensible position. So we do see these moves somewhat regularly. The Southern Song will still be great patrons of the arts. And one of the great artists of the period is going to be Liang, who creates these religious paintings which were also still popular. He followed Neo-Confucianism, a blend of Chinese thought and Buddhist concepts. And he also is a Chan Buddhist, which is a new form of Buddhism stressing enlightenment through meditation. And he's a member of the Southern school of Chan Buddhism, which meant that to him, enlightenment could be sudden and spontaneous. He's also a master of expressive linear work, favored by Chan Buddhist monks in China, Korea, and Japan. And he creates this, the 6th Chan Patriarch chopping bamboo. And what's happening here is as he chops bamboo, he will find enlightenment. So such mundane tasks were thought by the Chan, especially the Southern Chan, to take on spiritual significance. Here the subject's Chan moment is the sound of his blade striking the bamboo, which propels him into enlightenment. Now the form looks like a quick sketch, and it's meant to. The quick caricature form suggests the worldly status and physical appearance no longer matter to this man because he's found enlightenment. Most of the work is done in pale, wet strokes, with very few strong, finer, dark strokes used to accentuate key compositional elements. The casual execution is actually a sign of the painter's skill, in that he can create such a powerful image spontaneously due to his incredible skill and training. So this spontaneity, giving the sense of years and years of practice, is very similar to Southern Chan Buddhism, where years and years of practice can lead to this sudden enlightenment during these mundane tasks. And at the time, it was highly valued if an artist could create a piece like this in, say, 20 minutes. You know, someone would sit down and say, hey, you think you're an artist? Draw something for me. And they do. And they create this. And you look at it and you say, wow, that is ridiculously simple. But it is a product of the time and of the religion. It's going to speak to the people of China at the time. It's not meant to speak to us. I mean, imagine him sitting there in the 13th century. He doesn't imagine that 700 years later, they're going to have a giant talking rectangle that's going to be discussing this work all over the world potentially at the same time. I mean, it's sort of like us thinking that Captain Kirk is actually going to happen. It just seems ridiculous to us, and to him, equally as ridiculous. So he's creating it for the period. It's famous because of the period and the time it's created, not because it's seen as particularly skillful today. So you always have to contextualize. This was also a sign of the artist himself moving towards enlightenment. This quick, incredibly practiced work, it shows us that he was already an expert. And you can see where you would make that connection between being an expert in art and perhaps being an expert elsewhere, for example, in meditation, in Buddhist practice, and therefore one step closer to his own enlightenment.